Okay, this is part 3 of Do Until or Post Test movie. Basically, what I want to re-emphasize here is the useful of Do Until or Post Test loops. Do Until or Post Test loops are most useful when user is to be provided a choice of menu items where user would pick one choice, and of course one of those choices could be exiting the menu. As you understand that if you're presenting a menu of choice to the user in software, the menu at least has to be presented to the user once. And post-test loops are ideal in such situations because, as you know, the loop condition is tested after the code inside the loop has been run once. So if you have to present the menu at least once, it's best to use post-test loop in such situations. We are going to show an example where we simulate some activities of United States Post Office in a piece of software. And this would be a smaller version of Post Office where you can only do two things. Either you can buy the stamps or you can mail parcels. Okay, allow me to get my pointer here. Okay, so this is the simulation program to simulate two functionality of the post office. One is to buy stamps, other is to mail parcels. Okay, the program to simulate post office will present to the user a menu of choices. They can buy stamps, or they can mail a parcel, or they can exit the program. So there will be three choices. So easy thing in that case is that we have one module or one function that will simulate the selling of stamps. And in this module, user is asked as to how many stamps they would need, and they would be asked also to enter the face value of the stamps in cents. It will be a whole number, and the module will print the price to be paid for the number of stamps user bought. The second module that will simulate mailing parcels, there we explain the rules of parcel mailing, and we ask the weight of the parcel, and finally the cost of the mailing parcel is printed. And as you know, all the modules have a hierarchy. You have a main line module, and there are the module called by the main module. So we show you the hierarchy in the next slide as follows. So this will be our main module A00, and it will be calling the B00 SellStamps modules and B010 mail parcels module. Okay, so it just has three modules. Here's the flowchart and pseudocode for SellStamps. This module works called B00, name is SellStamps. So here we set two variables, num stamps, number of stamps user wants to buy, and we set that to 0, and stamp price, which is the face value of one stamp in cents, set that to 0. And then we prompt user to enter the number of stamps they want to buy and the face value stamp price for the stamp they are going to buy. And then cost will be simply num stamps, number of stamps they want, multiplied by the face value in cents of each stamp, and then we'll simply print the cost for them. Okay, and the module will return, it will not return a value because we are printing everything inside the module. And pseudocode is almost mirror image of the flowchart. We enter the module and we set the num stamps to 0, stamp price to 0. We read the num stamps, number of stamps they're trying to buy, face value in cents of each stamp they're purchasing. Cost will be equal to simply multiplication of num stamps to stamp price, and we write and we return. I mentioned this earlier, I'll mention it again. It is not necessary to write the whole program when you're writing modules. You can write one module and you can confirm that it works fine by doing some tests. And we are going to do here exactly that. We'll show you the code just for the SellStamps without worrying about code in the main module or main function or main method. And that's how it is. Although you can read it here, it's probably better seen in JavaScript, the function buy stamps. So I'm going to exit this here and go to my JavaScript code where I can show you slightly better. So this function buy stamps starts at line 40 and goes to line 54, and it pretty much follows the pseudocode. We declare two variables. Num is the number of stamps they are trying to buy, and we set that to 0, and price is the face value in cents of each stamp. And then we declare three more variables. Dollars will be the number of dollars that they'll have to pay, number of cents, and total price. These three variables are required because finally we are printing what they have to pay in dollars and cents separately rather than using the decimal system. So if they owe $4.23, we are not going to print 4.23. Rather, we will print that they owe $4.23. That's why some of these variables are needed. So on line 44 here, what we do is we prompt user to enter the number of stamps they wish to buy. Obviously this will be a whole number, so we put a 0 for that. And then line 45, we take their input, multiply that by 1 to convert that from a string back to a number. And then it's line 46 here, we ask them to enter the face value of the stamp in cents only. So if stamp is more than $1, they're not going to enter 1 point something. If a stamp is actually $1.10, they will actually enter 110. So this is an integer also. And then we convert it back to a number because here it was a string by multiplying by 1.0. So obviously our total price then will be num into price, and then we want to tell them how much they owe in dollars and how much in cents, and that's done by this little math here. We divide total price by 100. Obviously if this was not a number divisible by 100, it will come out in decimals, but dollars we want only the whole dollar, so we do math.floor total price by 100 and we fix to 0.0 because if it's whole dollars I don't want any decimal points in there. Okay, and then in cents, converting to cents, we take the modulus of total price with 100, and since total price was in cents, modulus will only give us remainder. So if total price is, let's say 99 modulus with 100 will be actually 99. If it was 999 or 998, then total price modulus with 100 will give us 98, and we also fixed that to 0. Okay, now we feed them back what exactly they bought. We tell them you're buying that many stamps, each costing that many cents. You're not converting into dollars here. And then we tell them how many dollars and cents they owe as a result of their purchase. Okay, so that's the code for buy stamps function or the module. So we go back to PowerPoint and show you the second module, and that would be here. First we explain the rules for mailing parcel. And these are the rules. You can change those rules to fit any other situation. So rules are that minimum cost is $2 for a parcel weighing 2 pounds or less. The cost is minimum cost. So it's going to cost $2 no matter how much the parcel weighs. However, for every pound or fraction above 2 pounds, the cost per pound is $1.50. Okay, so if it's, let's say, 2.2 pounds, it's going to cost $3.50. If it's 3 pounds, it's still going to cost $3.50. That's the little bit of math here. Now here in the pseudo code, I'm requiring this little procedure where I'm asking user to enter weight in two parts, the whole pounds and the fractional pounds, because each programming language has a different way of rounding off numbers. Okay, but this technique will work in every programming language. So when I write JavaScript code, I will not probably stick to this, but this is a general procedure that will be applicable in every language. So as a general procedure, module will take weight in two parts, the whole pounds and any fractional pounds. For example, if parcel weight is exactly 3 pounds, then whole pounds are 0, fractional pound is, whole pounds is 3 and fractional pound is 0. If it was 3.2, then whole pounds will be 3 and fractional pounds will be 3.2. So for example, on the other hand, if parcel is 3.3 pounds, then whole pounds are 3 and fractional pound is 0.3. All right, and I think I should have shown you, okay, we had the pseudocode and flowchart for this, and I just need to locate it. Here it is. So I don't know how it got pushed in the back. Should have been before that. So here's the flowchart. I suppose I don't have pseudocode on this one, but that's okay. Pseudocode will be mirror image of the flowchart. So this is the second module for MailParcel, B000. I think it should be B100. There's a slight error here too. So weight full pounds means weight of the parcel in whole pounds, or part of the weight, which is whole pounds, is 0, and the fractional weight is set to 0. So if weight of parcel is 3.3, then weight full pounds will be 3 and weight fraction will be 0.3. And then we have a bunch of other variables. Parcel weight, minimum weight is 2 pounds, minimum cost is $2, and cost per pound, extra pound, is 1.5. So we set those constants as well. So here first we explain the rules of mailing the parcel, and then we ask the user to enter the full pounds and the fractional pounds, two separate weights. Now if fractional weight is 0, then we have the full pounds. So we set the parcel weight to full pounds. However, if it is false, then we set the parcel weight to full pounds plus 1. Remember that for any fractional weight, it's charged at the rate of whole pound. So that's why we do this one. Okay. And then we do the second if and else. If parcel weight is less than or equal to minimum weight, then the cost will be minimum cost, which is $2. Otherwise, cost will be minimum cost plus parcel weight minus minimum weight, which is 2 pounds, multiplied by cost per pound. Okay, and cost per pound was 1.5. And finally we write the cost. Return simply means the function has ended, method or module has ended. In this case also it's not returning anything. So that's the flow chart. So now we can go back to our JavaScript code, and obviously we're not going to stick to input in weight full pounds and weight fraction pounds in JavaScript because there is a better way to do it. The flowchart is shown. You could do this way in flowchart in JavaScript, but there's a better way. Okay, so that function is called MailParcel, and that's the function here. I'll just highlight it once and then go back to the top. Oops. Okay, I was trying to get a better, more space here to see. Okay, so we have a bunch of variables here: minimum cost, minimum weight, cost per pound. You saw those before. BR is a JavaScript based variable we need, and we need parcel weight and price. I guess I declared this twice, which is not necessary, so let me delete that. Okay, and we need something called original parcel weight because we're going to round off the parcel weight. So in order to feed back to the user that what was their original parcel weight, we need that. Here the part where we are explaining the rules, that minimum cost of mailing a parcel up to 2 pounds is $2, and then in the next line, for every pound or its fraction above 2 pounds, the cost per pound is $1.50. So these are the rules. Now here it is different from the flowchart where we had them enter weight in whole pounds and weight in fractional pounds separately. We really don't need that in JavaScript because we can use some inbuilt methods and modules in JavaScript to take care of that. So we ask them to enter the parcel weight, which will be for whole pounds point the fractional pounds, and then we convert that back in this line 23 to a number from a string, and we save this value into something called original parcel weight set equal to parcel weight because we're going to need to print this later. So there's a method called ceil, which is short form of ceiling. So when we pass this parcel weight, original parcel weight, what this method will do, that if this has any fractional pound, it's going to bump it up to next whole pound. So for example, if we have this, that x equal to math.ceil, let's say 3.01, then x will become 4. Okay, because this ceiling means just bump it up to next whole number. So 3.0 will be bumped to 4.0. So that's why we don't need the separate fractional and the whole pounds, because ceil function does that for us. Okay, and then it's very simple. This if and else is mirror image of the pseudocode flowchart we saw. If parcel weight is less than or equal to minimum weight, which was 2 pounds, then price is the minimum cost. Else, price equal to minimum cost plus parcel weight minus minimum weight, this was 2 pounds, multiplied by cost pound, which was 1.5. Okay, when you watch this video, make sure you have a copy of code in front of you, copy of code and flowchart. That will make it easier. And you can pause the video in between to see all those things. And here we are feeding them back the weight of the parcel, which is original parcel weight, fixed to 2 decimal point because we don't want to deal more than 2 decimal point. And here we're not separating them in dollars and cents. Here we are just telling them how much they pay. Please pay whatever the price was. 2 fixed 2, which means it'll be like a parcel weight was 3.01, it'll be $2 plus 150, so it'll print 3.50. Okay, so that's the code for MailParcel. Now we go back and look at the code for the flowchart for the main line module, and I believe here it is. Okay, one more time, I'm going to need my pen back. Okay, so this is the main module which calls the MailParcel and the BuyStamps module. So here we'll write some sort of welcome message, which you should always have in every program, because every program should need to give user what's going on, what kind of things they can do with the program. And then we get user's choice, M for mailing a parcel, B for buying the stamps, and E for exiting. Okay, and one more time, this is one way to do it. In JavaScript I might have done it differently, so feel free to redraw the flowchart for that. Okay, but once again, this will work in every language, and I guess I have made it a little bit okay, sorry about that, invisible. So this is M actually. All right, okay. So if choice equals M, if that is true, we call the module B010, which basically handles the task of mailing a parcel. Okay, it does everything for it. And once that is finished, then we join here. Okay, somewhere here, and we'll see that in a minute one more time. But if choice is false, then we call them, then choice could be B. M for mailing module, B for buying the stamps. If that is false, then we would assume that choice is B. If that is true, then we call the module B00, which is the module to SellStamps. But if that is false, then we check if choice is E. And if that is true, then we test again that choice is not equal to E. If choice is not equal to E, if this is true, we'll go back here and we'll repeat the whole process again. So this piece of the code here lays inside the loop, and the false part of choice equals E is that we write that, hey, it's invalid choice. Notice true part of choice equals do does nothing. Again, this was one way to do it. I've done it a little differently in JavaScript because the alternate way was easier to do. So this is my do while loop here. Now let's see, this has become a bit cluttered. Okay, yeah, so this went out again, so let me just highlight again. And I want to show here how the loop is. So loop really begins here because we get a choice. Loop actually begins here, sorry. We get user's choice. Choice could be M, B, or E, or it could be some other letter, of course. And so we enter once anyway, it doesn't matter because this is a post-test loop, the condition is being tested here. So we enter irrespective of what the choice is. And choice has to be declared here, by the way, outside the loop. I forgot to do that. Okay, the choice variable has to be declared here somewhere. Okay. So if choice is M, we reroute them to B010, which is the module to mail the parcel. If that is false, then choice could be B. We reroute them to the module to buy stamps. If that is false, then choice could be E. In this form, the way I have done it, if choice is E, then I do no task, but if it is false, I say it's an invalid choice. And then I test whether choice is not E. If choice is not E to exit, then I go back here again and repeat the loop again. So really, basically, this code is in the loop. So this code will repeat again as long as user enters the choice as E. If choice is E, then choice not equal to E will be false, and I exit the loop. Okay. Again, this is one way to do it. I think I've done it slightly differently in the JavaScript code. Feel free to do it this way in JavaScript code to see the difference. But really, overall, there is not that much difference. Okay, so let's see the main module inside the JavaScript. Main module in JavaScript is written standalone without any word main or anything. So here we define a choice and we just welcome. Here's the welcome message. And here's my post-test loop do, left curly brace, code inside the loop, right curly brace, and then while choice equals M or choice equals B. So basically, if their choice is M for mailing parcel, B for buying the stamps, then we keep the loop going. And obviously I said it's a little different than the way I showed in the flowchart. And I could flowchart this as well. Okay. So although choice variable must be defined outside the do while loop, by the way. It must be defined outside this region. Otherwise, you cannot use it here in this condition. If you do not define it outside here, it will not be visible inside here. That's a very important thing to remember. I cannot define it here inside. If I did that, it wouldn't be visible here. Okay, so I define choice here. In any case, in JavaScript, you should define all the variables at the top. I think even if you define them somewhere else, they get hoisted up here. So we say choice equal to window.prompt. Would you like to mail parcel or buy stamps or exit? And they will show up like 3 different lines, M, B, and E. And they will type their choice. And I just convert the choice to uppercase because I do want to give user the freedom to either type in lowercase m or uppercase m, lowercase b, or lowercase e or uppercase e. Then I see that if choice equals m, then I basically just call the mail parcel function. So as soon as line 66 is executed, the control of transfer will go to the mail parcel function, really basically to this line here, and it's going to execute this piece of code until line 37, 38 are reached. On the other hand, if their choice was B, then we are calling buy stamps function here. That means control of the code will be transferred to this function here, and then this piece of code all the way from here to here is executed. And if they do not enter E, then we say, hey, it's an invalid choice because choice has to be either M, B, or E. So we flash a message on the screen. And while choice is equals M or B, then we just continue on. Notice here, if they enter E, then E equals M is false and E equals B is false, so then we'll exit the loop. Okay, but if they enter like some other letter, let's say T, actually they will exit that then also, because T, okay, that's fine. They'll basically exit if they enter anything other than M, B, or E, except for non-E choice, they'll see this message. Okay. All right, so now we should see how this program works. So let's see, let me go to my Finder here, and no, that's the movies. So I just want to call this inside an browser using my HTML code, and here it is. Open with Google Chrome, and it says, would you like, see, first it gives you the message, welcome to United States Post Office. Would you like to mail parcel, buy stamps, or exit? So I'm just gonna give it, let's say B first, B. And notice you can use either uppercase or lowercase b. And here's my menu, M, B, or E. Click OK. And it says enter the number of stamps you wish to buy. So I'll say I want to buy 11 stamps, and enter the face value of stamp in cents only, and let's say face value is also 11. I click OK, and notice you are buying 11 stamps, each costing 11 cents. So 11 multiplied by 11 will be 121. So it'll get paid $1.21. Notice this menu came up again because I'm inside a do while loop, and I entered a B. I didn't enter an E to exit. So this time I say M for mailing parcel, and here it's explaining the rules of parcel. Minimum cost of mailing a parcel up to 2 pounds is $2 for every pound, or its fraction above 2 pounds. The cost per pound is $1.50. So it's asking us to enter the weight of the parcel in whole pounds and fractional pounds. So I'll enter maybe 3.01. Click OK. And it gave us this all the details here. The minimum cost of mailing a parcel up to 2 pounds is $2. For every pound or fraction above 2 pounds, the cost per pound is 1.50. We could explain that here too, by the way. And weight of parcel, original weight was 3.01, which got rounded to 4.0, and the rule was that for first 2 pounds you pay $2. For every pound above that you pay $1.50, and that's why you got 3 plus 2, $5. Okay. Let's say we want to buy more stamps, then we are still in the loop. Let's say 12 cents. I want to buy 12 stamps, each one costing also 12 cents. And again, this time 12 cents, 12 stamps, each costing 12 cents will be $1.44. I can go to MailParcel again if I like, M, and it explains the rule of parcel mailing to me. And this time, let's say my parcel weight is 2.01, and it tells me exactly that original weight was 2.01. It will get rounded to 3, cost up to $2.2. Cost for the extra pound is $1.50, so total is $3.50. And this time I enter E to exit, and end of the program. So this is how you can use a post-test loop, which in JavaScript is called do while. Generic name is do until, where some sort of menu is presented to the user, and since menu has to run at least one time, this kind of loop is very useful for those kind of software problems. Okay, so we're going to end this video here. The last video I'm going to do in this series will be on a for loop. So I'll see you in that video. Thank you.